Wine tapped the red button on the tablet screen and cut the video call with her friends after talking to them for like 2 hours. They caught up on their girly talks about the life and husbands. Wyan recently got married a month ago, so she was the center of attention recently. They would ask her about her progress with her arranged husband, and she felt bad saying that there was none. It felt weird telling the girls that they hadn't even kissed in a month, let alone get any closer than that. How was she supposed to tell them she was scared of her own husband? He belonged to an underworld, the leader who ruled the shadows. Made men and those who contained power were scared of him, so how could she not? She stood up, placing her tablet aside, and walked over to mirror, fixing herself up a little. Every time he was around her, it sent shivers down her spine, like the shadows that consumed him were pulling her in that dark abyss as well. The marriage was solely the idea and decision of their parents. Ryan or Jungkook had nothing to do with it. As she picked up the gloss to apply a little, her hand stopped mid-air when she heard the doorknob rotating. He was here. She could feel the creeps running all over her body. Once the door opened and Jungkook stepped inside like the mighty king, he once again held her in his chokehold, leaving her unable to move by her ease. He tossed his coat aside. It was new from an organized man like him. Rotating his neck, Vine heard the sound of cracks until his eyes fell on her, and he stepped towards her. She gulped, not daring to move from her place. Jungkook quietly took the lipstick from her hand, which was still mid-air, wrapped his other tattooed hand around her neck, holding her in place, and started to apply that lipstick on her lips. If the demon himself wasn't holding her, she would have crawled underground and screamed. Once he was done, Vine looked at his knuckles, and they were bruised, as if he had punched the light out of someone. Vine, thank you, she whispered, and he kept his hold around her neck, swiping his thumb against her chin. Vine, are you okay? You look hurt. Jungkook, an idiot, messed up, ruined my mood, created a trouble, and got me angry. So he paid. He looked at his busted knuckles once, and that confirmed he had beat that person. Then he shifted those deep eyes on her again. Jungkook, how about you fix it up? He stepped forward until there was no space left in between us, his hold around her neck gentle, yet possessive. As he stared down at her lips, he just painted red. Jungkook, may I kiss you? A butterfly fluttered in Vian's belly at his request. She didn't expect him to ask, yet, once he did, she couldn't reject. As she nodded, curling her fists, Jungkook placed his lips on top of hers. His hand locked in her hair as he pulled her head back and kissed her deeper. Within a moment, he was addicted to her taste. He regretted all those weeks he had her as his wife and never kissed her. Jungkook pulled back as she panted and rested her hands on his chest. Jungkook, do I make you scared, Wyan? He kissed her cheek. Wyan nodded slightly and he picked her up, putting her on the dresser, then stood in between her legs. Jungkook, don't be. For as far as I remember, I never treated you wrong or stopped you from anything. Wyan, you don't treat me at all. We are more like strangers living in the same room, she managed to say, fiddling with his shirt buttons. Jungkook, I'll be careful about that. So look in my eyes when you talk and command like a queen. You are Joan's wife. You hold the power like no one else. You know why? She shook her head and he held her chin. Jungkook, because you are the only woman with enough power to control me. With that kiss that tastes like strawberries, I can even burn the world if you said so. Vine curled her toes and looked in his eyes, letting the information settle in her system. Jungkook kissed her again, and this time she felt much comfortable than she did last time. As a result, she wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed him back. Jungkook groaned in satisfaction, and the two never realized how the little kiss got so long into a makeout session. It was after so long Vine sat in front of him on the bed and was treating the bruises on his knuckles. He refused from getting them treated, and she simply kissed him and asked for it nicely, and he gave in. Now that Vine knew her kisses worked on him, she was definitely going to use them to her advantage a lot. Vine, I ordered some fast food. Is that okay? Jungkook, I don't eat that. Vine, you can tonight, and I'll let you kiss me whole night. Jungkook, and if I don't, he raised a brow. Vine, then no kisses for you anymore. She grinned, getting up, and walked away, doing a little twirl. Jungkook, so that's what you're going to do now? Vine was an easygoing person. As long as you're the one talking to her first, she would settle easily, even against your will. Vine, you said I could. She giggled and he groaned, yet agreed to it, and she loved it even more. How come she was so scared of him? Only if she knew he was not going to treat her like he treated the world. Once the food arrived, she settled happily on the couch and served him with a slice of pizza and took one for herself. Jungkook looked at her weirdly but then started to eat and didn't complain afterwards. Wine. It's good, right? No one can resist a pizza. She finished two by the time he was done with one and proceeded to grab another slice. He held her jaw and pecked her lips once, roughly, and then dove into pizza again, like nothing happened, whereas her breaths were stolen out of her lungs. Wine sworn he was going to be the death of her. Yet, she smiled, loving the moments and closeness between the two. It was a progress, and she was too excited for more moments to come.